Marshall, Lindsay, thank you. Trustee Schultz, Trustee Fry, all the Board of Trustees and all the great work you do. Leilani Domingo, wherever you are, thank you for the invitation. I'm truly honored to be here. A baseball coach talking to graduates, graduating in many disciplines from a great university. Congratulations to you. Colorado Mesa has so many amazing people, from professors to grounds crew to Sodexo service people, custodians. I'm very proud to be here. I'm proud to be part of this institution. I completed my degree at CMU, it was Mesa State then, 32 years ago. But I did it while I was at spring training. I had gotten a second opportunity. I had been released by the Boston Red Sox, was down and out. I got an opportunity with the Detroit Tigers. I was in classes my last semester here at CMU. And just like you, I had four amazing professors. I went to them and I said, I have this opportunity. I'm in my last semester. Is there any way I could go take part in this opportunity? And they allowed me to do so. So they mailed me my work. I did my homework at the spring training complex, writing papers, mailing it back and forth. That was before the internet. There weren't cell phones. There were calling cards, things like that. Some of you know that. The reason I tell you this is I missed my graduation. I wasn't able to walk at my Mesa State graduation. So with your permission, I would like to celebrate this celebration with you guys today. This stuff's kind of cool. This is probably as close to a judge as I'll ever feel. As I begin my 33rd year in coaching, all of them here at CMU, I want to attempt to condense 3 decades of experience coaching student athletes into about 8 minutes. So it's going to be a challenge. It could be like a 2-hour talk because I just like to share this stuff. I love leadership. I love building teams. I love helping people, and I love helping students. So for the next 8 minutes, I'm going to coach you. All right. Now I feel a little bit more at home. A lot of people ask me why I've been here so long. We've had great success, but I got to mention, it's not one person. We have an absolutely amazing coaching staff. We've been together, the bulk of us, for over 20 years. They're committed. They're bought in. They're hard workers. They work with players. It's a team. And all of you, at some point, your family's a team. You're going to be working in a business where you'll be part of a team. You got to have help. So it's obvious, I'm the recipient of the nice introduction, but it's because of a lot of people. People have asked me, well, why haven't you gone somewhere that's a little more big time? People are into the big time. So why don't you go to the University of Texas, pursue that, Cal State Fullerton, Arizona State, and I suppose I would. I guess my answer is, a long time ago I decided that wherever I was going to make that the big time. So for me, CMU, Grand Junction, the Grand Valley, this is the big time. You guys just graduated from a big time school. That's a mentality. We're going to talk about that. There's a few assets and a few things we do. We base our entire program around 2 things and 2 things only, and then it branches off into a few things. Every time out, we make the attempt to out-team and out-compete our opponents. Out-team and out-compete. The first prong of that we talk to our players about is developing a great attitude. Sometimes it's hard to have a great attitude. I'm not perfect. I'm trying. I'm doing better. I work at it every day. I never quit with that. Attitude's everything. My first job my first duty at CMU, I had a little office down in a converted custodian's closet downstairs. I was really excited. My first office, a paycheck, all those things. And the first day I was all set up, and the athletic director at the time, my first AD, came down and he said, "How's it going?" I said, "It's going great." Well, let's get to work. And I said, I'm ready to go. And he goes, please go get me a cup of coffee. That was the first duty I ever had here at CMU. It challenged my attitude right out of the gates, and I stopped. I was immediately a little bit offended, but then said, you know what, I'm going to do this to the best of my ability, and that's the truth. I'll tell you a story about resilience. There was a study done. 2 little boys, about 8 years old each, put into 2 separate rooms. The rooms halfway filled in manure. And they are left their own accord. The boy in room 1 goes in there. He's crying. He's throwing a fit. This is awful. Why am I in here? He's got a really bad attitude. And the boy in room number 2, he's throwing manure around. He's digging a deep hole. He's just having a great time. And the researchers go in and say, what's going on? Why are you so happy? And he goes, well, with all this manure, there's got to be a pony in here somewhere. Attitude is everything. That's where it begins. We try to relay some standards that can relate to you. One of our core standards in our program is transfer of blame is not allowed. It's a standard, and it's something you can better at. We aren't perfect. We talk about attitude of excellence. We want to be excellent. Excellence isn't about perfection. All right? It's not perfection. It's excellence. It's doing the best you can every day, all the time. So when somebody in our organization blames something, although it was too windy, it was too hot, it was too cold, within our organization, we don't transfer blame. We simply remind them, don't transfer blame. And it's a very powerful thing because it makes you accountable, it removes excuses, and it helps you break down barriers. We try to develop some very good standards of obviously physical work, working, mental work. But people tend to succumb to their feelings. I mean, think about this morning, the alarm went off, maybe you didn't feel like getting out of bed. If you have standards, though, and you have a mission and a purpose to get up, maybe your standard is to get up and exercise. And the minute that alarm goes and you feel like staying in bed, your standard stops you. And you get up, you put your feet on the floor, and you attack the day. I would encourage you to develop some of those routines. We have a concept called the compound effect. It's working to get better 1% every day. We've done this for a long time. Small increments over time lead into massive improvements. It doesn't happen fast, so nothing really substantial very often happens very fast. It's over time. There's a compounding effect. So I would encourage you to come up with some daily routines, some daily disciplines. Figure out what wins for you. What makes you win in your business. If you're an auto mechanic, if you're a nurse, if you're a teacher, it doesn't matter. What wins? I'm interested in figuring out what wins and then attacking those disciplines. And it's those disciplines that win. And it's discipline that builds confidence. Confidence doesn't come from talent. It doesn't come from talent. It comes from discipline, and it comes from hard work. And it comes from attitude. I loved what the Roman poet Virgil said. He said, they can because they think they can. That's a very powerful mindset. I saw that quote when I was 10 years old and I wrote it down. I've used it every year. It's in our manual for our baseball program, and it's very powerful. White belt spirit. Have a white belt spirit. I'm going to tell you what a white belt spirit is. Jigoro Kano was the father of judo. He was a black belt master. And he wanted to be known as a learner, not a master. On his deathbed, everybody was dismayed because he requested to be buried with a white belt on, not a black belt. And they said, well, master, you're a black belt master. Why would you want to be buried with a white belt? He said, because where I'm going, I want to continue to learn. That's a growth mindset. So what I would encourage you is to develop a white belt spirit. I have that. I always try to learn. Our program always tries to improve. There's always something that can be accelerated or improved. But you got to commit to the long haul. Develop those skills. You know, when I took this job, when I got named the head coach, my dad was a coach. He was my high school football coach, and he was a teacher for 32 years. He was an outstanding coach, won state championships. It was hard playing for him because he was incredibly tough on me. He was out of the old school. He was tough, and he was good, and his teams executed, and they won. And I said, Dad, as I take this job, do you have any advice? And I thought he was going to sling some X's and O's on me, things like that. I said, do you have any advice? And he said, make your word be gold. I said, what? He goes, whatever you do, make your word gold. And what does that mean? And I live that to today. You know, everybody, all of us want to know, can you trust it? Can you trust me? Can I trust you? Can I trust you when I'm with you? Can I trust you when I'm not? If you have trust, you can accomplish just about anything within a team, within a family. So make your word gold. As I wrap up here, I want to tell you it's been my honor to be in this moment with you guys and be part of this celebration, because I had mentioned I didn't get to walk in my graduation. And I would encourage you that wherever you go, whatever you do, make the big time where you are. Thank you.